Boom. Right. This is going to be my focus group about my feminism podcast. So, just got a series of questions to ask all of you. So, what are your personal views on feminism in general?
I think that some feminism can be way too extreme, but like some other feminists actually get equality and rights for women that are actually important, like voting.
Yeah.
Because originally they got it for over 30-year-olds, then over 21, and then back to over 18s, which is equal with men. So I think that's fair.
Right. Carter?
Yeah, I agree. I feel nowadays we do have extreme feminism.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like some people, they ask for more than equality, whereas that's not what feminism is.
Right, okay.
Yeah, sometimes can be taken to the extreme, but yeah.
It is important.
Oh yeah, it's very important.
It can be taken.
Right. Do you have any current interest in modern day feminism?
I think that some feminists now are actually a lot better and not as like matriarchal. Like they actually want
Just gender equality.
like gender equality, and they care also about the rights of like other minorities.
Yeah.
Like I've heard some talk about like they've been saying how there's a problem that's discriminating against women as well as like Africans, like Caribbeans, people like that. So
Right. Carter?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Do you have any current interest in modern day feminism?
I like to. What's it? I feel like it's interesting. I watch YouTube videos on a student talking about feminism to his teacher, and he made some very good points. And
Are there any specific points you can think of?
I've seen that video.
I
it's
have as
good,
well.
isn't it?
He
Yeah.
talks about that some people think some of the points that feminists bring up are not about equality. They're about women's dominance over men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does say that feminism, like what feminism should mean, is good, but what it's blown up to
for
be,
now.
And what it
Yeah.
currently
blown up to
stands
be,
for.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
what they originally set out to do.
Yeah. Anything else to add to that?
No, not really. I think you covered it all.
Right, fair enough. If you weren't to have, like, do you think there's a reason behind people not having an interest or taking an interest in feminism nowadays?
I
and
think
stuff?
because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not
Yeah, I don't
much
think it's clear.
information
There's
about
too
it.
many-
Yeah.
Claims and
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What do you currently think of fourth wave feminism?
I think that it can be taken to like the maximum extreme, like beyond like not even equality at all. But I think it's more little things like the pay gap. Is it real? Like how much actually is it? Is it actually between if two people have the same job, work the same hours, do the same amount of work? Is it different, or is it just because they say they get less money, but they don't work overtime, or they don't,
Yeah.
they have more days off, or something like that. So I think some people think, when they hear about the pay gap and then someone else contradicting it, they think, do feminists really know what they're talking about? Maybe it's just, they've just made it up.
Yeah. And then they like generalise that opinion
Yeah.
to feminism as like a whole.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's other factors that obviously fall into the pay gap, and it's not just because they're men and women.
What do you think of fourth wave feminism?
Oh.
That's like current.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not radical.
I think they're just going way too far about it, and
I think sometimes they are,
Now-
but sometimes it is.
now it's becoming a bit of a joke. Like all the serious issues are just not.
Right. Okay.
You know.
I think that's just the way it's seen as well.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah.
are
So a lot of
important,
people.
but a lot of them aren't very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think about radical feminism?
Awful.
Awful.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, as we said earlier, that feminism is meant for equality between men and women, whereas radical feminism, they just want more and dominance, and that completely defeats the point of feminism in the first
It's
place.
a bit of a double standard.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right. Are there any news articles involving radical feminism that you can think of?
Oh, there was that one with the Russian woman about the people manspreading on public trains or subways, where she would put bleach and a bit of water into a cup and then pour it over men who are manspreading.
Do you think she was justified to do that though?
No.
Do any of you?
No, definitely not.
No?
You wouldn't just do it.
Yeah,
like
I don't
normally.
think it was right. I mean, it would have been better, I think, if it was just like water, but when it was proved to be like an actual chemical that someone could have had a reaction to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it could have actually been life-threatening.
Yeah.
So, I think she, again, took it to the extreme.
Yeah, wouldn't
When
be
she
too
didn't
far.
need to. She could have asked.
Like, did she
There
get
could
in
have been.
trouble?
There was a more simple way that she could have.
I actually don't know.
handled it.
Okay.
Did she get into
If
trouble
didn't
for
get
it?
in trouble, then
No,
it's a bit
she
of,
didn't.
like, it's
Then
a bit
that could be seen as
unfair.
like a
Yeah.
I think
A sexist
definitely.
kind of.
yeah, you
Yeah.
could see that as
She
like
probably didn't.
don't know, like a church, not church, like a jury being like sexist towards her. They was like,
Yeah.
Letting her get away with it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very fair.
no, right. Just hold on. Get the next question. Right. Are there any feminist icons that stand out?
Emma Watson.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
No, I think she's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
She's close to our age. She's like in her mid-20s or early 20s. She very on it on social media, so she has quite a big audience that she can go out to. And yeah, I think she's doing well for feminism, and she isn't like a radical feminist, and she's very reasonable.
Yeah. Is there anything that she's done that stands out to any of you?
No, she just talks about the topics that need to be spoken about.
She goes to like marches and
Like,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could also talk about her being like the female lead in the Harry Potter films a couple of years
Yeah.
back.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower,
Yeah.
a very good film.
Mhm. She's also the female lead in The Circle. I think
In The
that's
Circle.
one of the
No.
kind of staples of her like character in any film, that she's one of the front runners of the film, and she's on like all the posters. People go to see the film because of her. She's quite a strong female lead and a good role model, I think.
Yeah. Are you aware of what a post-feminist is?
No.
No, not really.
No. So a post-feminist is somebody who thinks that modern day feminism is starting to go a bit too far. They think that there is not much else that needs to be done, but it still needs to be present. So, you know, if the gender pay gap is, you know, like a real thing, because nobody really knows, because like everything can be forged or faked, anything like that. So they don't really agree with, you know, like that news article, but they agree that things should be changed if there's any like sexism towards women or, you know, any other sort of minority out there.
Yeah, I think I agree
Yeah?
with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair.
Right. Do you think feminism is still needed?
Yes.
Yeah.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
I think it's as you said, like it's just little things that they need to. They mean to make sure it doesn't go backwards. They
Yeah.
need to keep improving it, but it's not as much as it was before.
Yeah. Right. Any other?
Especially because I think women are now, they sort of go for careers, like it's not just, they don't strive for just having a family and,
And being a
at home.
housewife. Yeah.
They want to like actually have a career, and they're more accepted in education, whereas before
Yeah.
they weren't even allowed to go to university.
Like society's different now, so
Yeah. Do you think it is possible for a woman to be sexist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Any examples you can think of?
We'll go back to that news article. I feel like what she was doing was sort of sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that was sexist.
yeah, because if a man did it to a woman, it'll be like
It'd be a
big
completely
Yeah,
different
it'd be-
story.
Yeah. It would have been a lot more blown up
in the
than
news more.
what it
Well,
was
yeah.
now. I mean, you could also talk about how rape cases are handled. So if it's a man raping a woman, he is guilty until proven innocent. Whereas when a woman rapes a man,
Boom.
she's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So it's like gender bias within
Yeah.
court of law. Right. Do you personally view sexual identification as a political issue?
No.
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 Why not?
I feel that people should be allowed to be what they want to be, but I don't feel that it should be a political issue if they want to be.
Mhm. What would you see it as if it's not like a political issue?
More of a social issue, I
A
think.
social.
Yeah. Social,
Like, it's
personal.
plastered all over social media, and I don't think that it should really be.
So it's kind
it
of
should be up
branding
to-
itself.
It should be up to your choice. It's becoming almost fashionable
Yeah.
Yeah.
to like say that you're gender fluid or
Yeah,
gender
so it's,
neutral.
I mean, you could also say that it's more like a cry for attention or
More
something
than
like that.
Something that you actually believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you see any other political issues involved with feminism that you feel would be important to talk about?
I think that feminism definitely improved. So I think people that actually know what's happened believe in it more than people who don't. So I think it's quite important that people realise that how bad it was for women and girls in school before equal rights, any kind of equal rights were achieved. The girls didn't want to take subjects like science or maths because they didn't want to seem that they weren't feminine.
Yeah, they didn't want to come across as masculine either. Because they were seen as
or something.
male
Whereas
subjects.
now, especially in all girls schools, it's the norm to sort of take those subjects and they can sort of go into whatever career that they want.
Do you think in some way gender norms have been reversed over the years?
Yeah, I'd definitely say that, because before even the government would say that people of our nan and granddad's age the girls would take food, catering, textiles, subjects like that, whereas men would take woodwork, sort of design and technology and subjects like that, and women wouldn't be allowed to. Whereas now, obviously, with options, you can choose and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's no real discrimination apart from maybe in the friend group.
Right, okay, fair enough. So that's kind of the end of the feminism bit. So just about podcasts now. So have you guys ever listened to a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True Geordie's podcast.
Right. Is that posted on YouTube, SoundCloud,
Both.
anything like that?
It's on YouTube where they do this video as well, and then on the podcast on iTunes.
All right,
It's
okay.
very good. About an hour long each episode. Him and his best friend, they get guests on and they talk. Very interesting.
Would you say that it's better with guests?
I would
Yeah.
say it's better with guests.
Do you think that
Because
makes
you
a
can have-
podcast more interesting if
you
you
can have a
have...
conversation with someone, and therefore the audience probably will feel more involved if instead you're just talking to. If you have someone there and they're just speaking about whatever, I feel it's better when you have free-flowing
You
conversation.
can get
between two people.
competitive if it's just one person.
I
Yeah.
think that,
Whereas with someone else,
especially if I've seen when they review a UFC fight or
Yeah.
a
something like
football
that.
match, if it was just when it's all those personalities, sometimes they have 6 people on there,
Mm.
so all gathered around a table sort of like this with microphones sort of commentating as they watch the game, then review it afterwards. I think that's definitely more interesting, especially because football games 90 minutes or more than 90 minutes for the whole thing. UFC fights, they sometimes watch the undercards as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that it's quite a long period of time, so
To listen to one person
would be
quite long.
a boring.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for that one person to lead a whole show
Yeah.
for 90 minutes.
With only
plus.
having one opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas when you
Yeah.
have so many, it's
Yeah, you can voice a lot of
especially-
opinions
yeah,
and
Mm.
get, other...
contradicting each other,
Yeah.
and debating.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Would you be interested about a podcast about feminism?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that it would actually have a significant impact upon what people think, or...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Definitely. I
Mm.
think if it was based on what's past events, a little sort of note to that, but mainly the main point is what's happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do people actually care about?
Kind of
What's-
informing
Yeah,
people.
what's actually true.
Because I'd like to know about the wage gap, because I don't understand it. Because I don't know. Well, yeah. Because I don't know what is the wage gap about. So I work at McDonald's. I get £6 an hour. A woman gets £6 an hour. There's no wage gap there. I don't understand.
I think definitely in tabloid newspapers like The Sun, things that women claim are definitely blown up to be more impactful than probably they actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more just gossip and
Yeah.
things like that. Anything to add?
Yeah.
Right, okay. What is the most amount of time you would dedicate to listening to a podcast in a single sitting?
Probably about half an hour,
Half an
I'd
hour?
say, but I think 20 minutes is about a good amount.
Yeah?
I'd say it depends. Obviously, if I was on a bus or going to school, you could probably listen to it longer. Because obviously you're not doing much. But to pass time, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes, I think, is ample.
Yeah? Alright, cool. That's the end of my questions then.